Oh, it wasn't. Okay, never mind then. So in this lab, we're looking at managing user and group accounts and system files. Okay, so let me open my instructions. All right. End up scrolling down to where I see exercise 1. This is the overall exercise, and after doing it, we'll know how to add, modify, remove users and groups, access user group password information, create and manage special purpose and limited accounts. In this lab, we want to use PLAB Linux 01. So I'm going to go power it on. Click here on the name and scroll up just a hair and make sure that's the computer that I'm on. Now I'll wait for it to boot up. And for some reason, this one never asked me to log on, which is okay. I just skipped step 1 and step 2 and on to task 2. When creating users in Linux, root is typically the first user, then you can create more users as required. Another entity or multiple user OS is groups. Groups comprise of multiple users. Groups are created to ease out the management of multiple users of similar privileges. All the users in a group can be granted permissions by assigning the same to the group. This saves the tedious task of assigning permissions to individual users, and if you've ever had to do that, you know it is a tedious task. So now we're on to step 1, and we'll right-click, open terminal. And we want to switch users to the root, so SU dash, and they're asking for the password, so it's uppercase PASS W0RD, and no, it does not echo. You just type it in and hit enter. And they want me to clear the screen. And then add a user using the user add command. And the user's name is John. When you create a user, it comes up in a locked state. It'll be unlocked once we set a password. So we'll set the password using PASSWD, John, and then it asks me for the password. Guess what the password is? Uppercase P, ASS, W0RD. And again, no, it doesn't echo. And even though it gives you bad password, type it again. PASSW0RD, because that is a really bad password. And then it should tell me all authentication tokens updated successfully. Next, if we want to know how to modify the user account for John and set an expiration date for that account, we can modify the account. Okay, so we're setting an expiration for John's account and we want it to expire on 12/12/2020. So we do a user mod -E, that's the expire part, and then we put in the date, 12/12/2020, for account John. So now that account would expire on December 12th, 2020. We can also lock an account. Doing a user mod -L and then the name of the user account. Disgruntled employees, you never know. Right, we can force the password to expire immediately by using the CHH or change H -D and the number 0. The 0 sets it to expire now, and you give it the name of the account. So now John will have to change his password immediately. And the last thing they want us to do in this section is delete this user. So clear the screen. User DEL and the name of the person or account I want to delete is John. All right, next we're going to set up a group, but before we can set up a group, we have to have 2 users, and we just deleted John, so we'll need to user add John back in, and yeah, I know he already exists. And I want a user add, and they gave me the name Rebecca. So now I have 2 users, John and Rebecca. I want to set the passwords to unlock those 2 accounts. So I'll use password, passwd, and John. And guess what the password is? I know it's a bad password, but that's what they told me to use. As long as it comes up and says updated successfully, then I'll go back and do Rebecca. And again, with the password that is a bad password, of course it is. Nobody would use password as their password. At least I hope not. And I'll pause there for a second because I know that can take a minute. Now we're on to step 11. But I'll clear the screen first and then do the group add -G, and the number is 10,000. That's the group number, and the group name is PLAB user. And we add users to the group. We use the user mod command with the switch A_G. -A_G PLAB user. So add to that group the user John. And then instead of typing it again, I hit the up arrow, and then I can backspace over John and put in Rebecca. Okay, so now John and Rebecca are added to my PLAB user group. And we got groups added and users into the group. Continue, and first I'll clear the screen. And ID John gives me information about John and the group he's in, PLAB user 10,000. I'll do the same thing with Rebecca. ID Rebecca. And you can see she is also a member of group number 10,000, name PLAB user. Okay, let's say we don't like the name PLAB user. We can modify the name with the group mod command -N for name. PLAB is the new name of PLAB user. All right, we're on to step 15, and now we're going to delete that group with the group del command PLAB, because we just changed the name from PLAB user to PLAB, so now we're deleting PLAB. Now we'll do ID John and see that he is not part of the PLAB group because the PLAB is no longer a group. Same thing for Rebecca. She's no longer part of PLAB because PLAB is no longer a group. All right, we're on to task 3, access user group password information. In a multi-user environment, it's important to encrypt passwords to protect them from unauthorized access by other users on the system or outside users of the system. The passwords are moved from the etc password to the etc shadow file. The etc shadow file is readable only by the root user. Shadow passwords are enabled by default by the shadow utils package. In this task, we'll access various password files on the system to view the passwords of the individual users as well as groups. All right, so in step 1, we're going to do a clear. And we want to view or cat space /etc/PASSWD. Stop. I was trying to get here so we could see where this actually started. Cat ECT ETC password. And then it starts listing the file and the file contents. You can even see here at the bottom, Rebecca and John. Okay, clear your screen. And we want to view the ETC shadow file. So we'll cat /etc/shadow. And over here, the encrypted passwords. So somewhere in there it says password with an O for the 0 for the O. We can also view the passwords for various groups. So let's clear the screen and then cat /etc/group. And there's the passwords for various groups. Now, see, I don't know why they had me delete my group, because then I could have looked here in the password file to see the password I'd set for my group. Create and manage special purpose and limited accounts. etc scale file allows an administrator to create a default home directory for all users on a computer. This ensures that the new users begin with the same settings in the environment they log into. All right, so we're going to clear the screen. And then we're going to view the scale directory with ls-a/etc/scale. And that shows us the contents of what's in that folder. We can also disable logins into the system by creating the etc no login file. By default, this file does not exist. If you create this file, though, only the root user will be able to log on to the system. Login access to the remaining users will be disabled. To create a no login file, type the following: touch forward space or space /etc/login. And that file is created with nothing inside of it. So we can cat the space /etc/no login, and you'll see there's nothing in it. I spelled something because it shouldn't have said no such file. Oh, that's why, because when I did my touch, I said login, not no login. Okay, so touch /etc/no login, and then I cat that file. And it's empty. Okay, there we go. Not that it doesn't exist, it should be empty. And the special purpose accounts are listed in the /etc password file. So we want to view that file with cat. Let's clear the screen. Cat /etc/PASSWD. And you can see no login. And we have now completed lesson 2 for module 4.